Good morning, I'm Jeff. I'm a sewer tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 9530 Southwest Diamond View Way here in Beaverton. We're located at the front of the home. We're just off of the front doorway. It's kind of up above us there. But just off to the left of the doorway we have a 4-inch ABS cleanout as our point of access. I'm going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Currently have water running. Here we go. So we do have a belly in the line here. And properties that have front yards that slope towards the house, it's very, very common to have that. Doesn't make it a good thing, but it's very common when you have it set up this way. And at the end, when we get the line all drained out, we'll be able to properly assess that belly to see how much water is in it. You can see there that it was causing debris to hang up in it, and that's the concern. Get enough water in there and it can cause things to stop up, toilet paper, and especially items that shouldn't go down the line. It transitions here at 23 feet over to 4-inch 3034 PVC pipe. Some settling that occurred there as well. That's much more minor than the other spot we went through. In general, it takes about 5 feet of pipe at 1 inch or 3/4 to 1 inch of water or more before I really start seeing much debris build up. But if you get a whole bunch of bellies back to back, even if they're not that bad, you can still get stuff hung up in them because one starts slowing everything down and they just have a hard time getting through the line. And here at 51 feet out, we have reached the main lateral. We're going to let the line drain out here for a few minutes before reeling the camera back. And I'm going to go locate to verify where the line terminates. I located the camera head successfully out the main lateral. Line does almost a straight shot out to the main lateral on Diamond View Way. We still have some water draining here. We're going to give it just a moment longer. Alrighty, the line is pretty much all drained out at this point here. There's just a little bit still trickling through there. Here's some of the standing water here. We've got bellies in 2 or 3 different spots. That one there is quite short, and the worst it gets is less than 1/4 of an inch, at least in that spot there, which is something I'm not concerned about. What you see built up on the sidewalls there is, for the most part, grease. If you put cooking oil or grease, blend up anything fatty into the disposal, even if it hits the tiniest amount of standing water, it will float to the top and then stick to the wall. So if you do that a lot, grease can build up like crazy in a line. So if we'll see what these bellies look like here. But many of these can be lived with. A lot of the time, it's controlled hugely by how the homeowner is living. As long as folded toilet paper is the only thing going down the toilet, and then a reasonable amount of food down the disposal, avoiding again the fatty stuff and cooking oil and stuff from going down there, more than likely the line is going to function just fine. Bellies become an issue when you start putting stuff down there that really shouldn't go down there. But we'll see how much water we've got here. Like I said, once you hit about 1 inch of standing water is where I typically start seeing a fair amount of debris build up, and especially if you put big wads of anything down the line. Alright, so here's our belly here right at the beginning. Now this one pops out actually prior to 5 feet there. It's sitting right around that 3/4 to 1 inch mark. And that's where I start to see stuff build up. Again, right now there's really not hardly anything in here, and part of that is because, one, you have a bathroom that's like pretty much straight through this wall. You have a lot of strong water flow right here off the bat, but it's a very short little section of the pipe here. Because it's right at that criteria point, I am going to recommend a repair on it, but this is one that you can live with. Again, if you're watching, it goes down the line. If you start putting stuff down there, even a big wad of toilet paper can hang up in this. But it's one of those that will really be an issue if you start putting things down there like grease, paper towels, feminine hygiene products. Those will hang up here very easily. You can see how thick that grease there is. If a repair is not done, I would recommend hydrojetting the line to clean any debris that's currently in here out. That way it won't contribute to anything further building up with the new homeowners. At least won't be adding to any issues. So if a repair is not done, I recommend rescoping in 1 year to see what the line looks like at that point. Every home lives different, every household lives different, and that will give you a baseline for whether you have a concerning amount of debris building up that might need to be cleaned out on a maybe 1 or 2 year basis to keep things at a minimum, or not at all. Hugely depends on how many people are living in the house and how they're living. So I'll get this mapped out here with white paint. It'll be just in front of the clean out. I'll mention the depth here in a moment. Alright, I got the belly mapped out here. Again, it starts essentially right in front of the clean out. I've marked with an X at either end. And in total here, it's right around 5 to 6 feet long, with an inch, possibly as much as an inch and a half of standing water. So for that reason, I recommend a repair there. Again, I've discussed before how these can be lived with, so this is not a 30 or 40 foot long belly. This is literally right at the breaking point where I recommend repair. So again, if you're watching what goes down the line, more than likely the line's going to function just fine here. But if you decide not to do a repair, I would definitely get the line jet out just to clean the debris out of there, and then a rescope in 1 year just to keep an eye on it, see what it looks like, and then you'll know if you have to be concerned about it on any kind of regular basis. Aside from that, the rest of the line's in good shape and has good flow out to the main lateral. At this point, the line is functioning out this time, not properly due to the fact there's a belly there, but it is functioning. We don't have any major debris buildup and no blockages or anything like that. And because of the hard slope here, I'm getting kind of I'm going to drop this down here and measure the depth. I was getting around 5 feet deep here right up next to the clean out, which it may in fact be. And when I drop the camera in here, I'm getting closer to around 3.5, 4 feet. So just use a little caution. It's difficult to locate accurately as far as depths go on a sloped hillside here. So somewhere between 3, 4.5, 5 feet deep because it grades up the hill. There's our beginning of the repair, and it stops right there next to that little bush. I recommend a rescope if any repair work is done to ensure it was done correctly.